there, friends, Nibs again. Out here in the garage doing a little bit of goofing around tonight. Actually doing a little bit of tinkering tonight. And you guys know I just can't leave well enough alone. And what I've been working on is this new, I really like this little rifle. This is the Daisy Model 753S. And the trigger was not horrible on it at all, but I thought we could probably make it better. I was seeing right around, here's a picture of the Lyman trigger pull gauge, seeing right around 2.2 pounds 4 ounces, and but I figured I could probably make it better, and I was right. But before we get into this, I really want to throw out a disclaimer. If you are not very handy and very confident with your ability to take things apart and put them back together again, I would not try disassembling this trigger group. It's pretty complicated, and if you don't take it apart correctly, things are going to go flying. Trust me. But I was able to find everything on the floor somehow, some miraculous way. But I just want to throw that out there. If you do attempt this adjustment, I'll call it an adjustment, and something happens to your brand new, less than 24-hour-old gun, you were forewarned that it is a tough modification. So there is this one part here. Let me see, where'd it go? Oh. One little part right here, they call it a spacer, and I could not figure out for the life of me where that was supposed to go. But my dad always had a motto, the sign of a good mechanic is being able to take something apart, put it back together again, have parts left over, and it still works right. So that was my dad's motto. I heard him say that many times, especially after he did work on his truck and still had parts left in the bin and didn't know where they were supposed to go. But so I really didn't want to show me taking this apart just because of the way YouTube's been lately about giving strikes for showing modifications. So I'm going to show you on the exploded diagram the pieces that I changed and omitted and things like that, and hopefully it won't get me in any hot water. But I really I didn't make any permanent changes to the weapon. I didn't turn it into a machine gun or anything like that, so I don't think I'm going to get in any hot water, but you just never know. But what I did, and I'll put the exploded view up here now, after I took it all apart, got the trigger group apart, I realized that spring number 23, which is, so there's a little catch that, so if you have the hammer cocked back, that little catch will stop the trigger from being able to move, even if the safety is off. And so that there's a spring between that little catch and the back of the trigger. That was a pretty heavy spring. It wasn't too bad, but I was able to find and all that does is keep that spring, or keep that little catch so that it would be down in line with the bolt. So it did not need to be anywhere near that heavy. So I found a spring. I bought this spring assortment from, I think, either Tractor Supply or our local Runnings store. I don't think that one came from Harbor Freight. But anyway, hardware stores have these little spring assortments all over the place. But I found a spring that was probably about half the tension of that one. And then the bigger thing that I think made a lot more difference was, again, back to the exploded view, the yellow arrow. So the first one, spring number 23, is pointed to by the red arrow, and then spring number 22 and the actual sear is part number 18. The yellow arrows pointing to that, and I was looking at the way this whole thing was set up, and the sear actually wraps around the back side of the trigger group, and then the hammer spring actually pushes the sear so that what they're calling the sear spring was not even necessary. So I completely eliminated that little spring right there, and I think that made more difference than anything. So I did several trigger pulls with it, and I ended up with an average of about 13.9 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and I'll do a couple trigger pulls for you guys on camera here, and we'll see how I can do. Once you get down to a trigger that light, it's kind of tough to get a consistent pull, because you got to get it right at exactly right on the trigger here. Oop, that one's 1 pound 5 ounces, still a nice trigger. Let's do a couple more. And also, if you pull into it a little bit more after it breaks, it adds to the weight too. So there was 1 pound 3 ounces. So most of my pulls were right around 1 pound, but I did see that 13.9, so just under 1 pound. 1 pound 7.9. So really a great improvement to the trigger, and it still feels just as good, and I don't have any problem with sear engagement or anything like that. Still pumps fine and has plenty of snap. So anyway, there you go. That was a pretty good improvement, and like I said, this is not for the squeamish. If you don't feel confident with your technical or mechanical abilities, don't even attempt it, because I don't want people getting mad at me and leaving the channel because they messed up their $300 target gun and can't get it back together. So anyway, and also forewarned, if you do any of these modifications, your warranty will be void. So but I think it'll be worth it. I think it'll help out with the target shooting and make it a lot more accurate gun, a lot more consistent. Easy to be consistent with anyway. But anyway, there you go. That is the Daisy Model 753S, S for synthetic. This is a really stout stock for a synthetic stock. The synthetic version actually weighs more than the wooden version, which is very unusual. I find that very unusual. So it was, let's see here, where's my, so it was 6.25 pounds for the synthetic version, and it was 6.15 pounds for the wooden version. So that's pretty interesting. But anyway, I hope you liked the video. Till next time, have a great day.